What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am finally doing another review of something. The last thing I reviewed was Resident Evil 3 Remake, and you guys have been asking me, where's the next review? Where's the next review? It is right here. I just got back from seeing Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and I am ready to give you my thoughts. I thought I would just make a video as soon as I got home, just so everything's fresh in my mind, and I can get everything out to you. Now, the first things I want to tell you guys are, it's a bad news. This is not a well-made movie. This is not a good movie, but it's a video game adaptation. So yeah, video game movies are, talking about a video game movie or the quality of a video game movie is like comparing shits in your toilet. They both stink like fucking shit. Some may look a little prettier than others and some may be less stinky, but at the end of the day, it's just two logs of shit in a toilet, which is almost all live action video game movies ever made. With that being said, this movie, if you're going in without knowing anything about Resident Evil, if you're going in as a horror movie fan to watch this without playing the games, you are most likely not going to like it. It is not a good film. If you're going in as a turbo fan of Resident Evil, you still might, maybe you'll like it. I'm not sure. I'm a turbo fan and I do not think this was good. If you are expecting this to be like, but whoa, by the way, big spoiler alert, this is gonna be a ramble video, just a ramble review. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this, or if you haven't seen it, you don't care, which you shouldn't, because if you've played the games, you know what's gonna happen essentially. So yeah, it doesn't really matter, but anyway, spoiler alert. But yeah, this movie, it is very different from the games. Very different. I have watched a few reviews and a lot of people are saying, oh, it's exactly like the games. It's like 1-to-1. In terms of story, it is not 1-to-1. It can't be when Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 are happening at the exact same time, and Jill and Claire and Leon and Chris are all meeting up together. It's just, it's not the same. Anyways, let's get into it. So if you don't know the Resident Evil story, the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City story, it basically starts off with Chris and Claire growing up in an orphanage. It throws Lisa in there just to build up Lisa's story, which I think adding Lisa is great. Lisa is probably the best addition to Resident Evil 1 Remake. So adding her to the movie and making her, well, you think she's a big part of the movie, is cool because she deserves more spotlight. And other than that, the movie is about Umbrella is leaving Raccoon City. People got poisoned from stuff in the water, or well, that's what Ben tells Claire. And Claire is basically coming to town to warn Chris or warn people about Umbrella. So, the quality of the movie. I think the CG is very hit or miss. One thing I found very, very weird. There is a lot, and I'm aware that a movie theater is a lot louder than watching at home, but there is a lot of loud sound effects in this film. Every time there is a jump scare, which there is a lot of jump scares. And guess what? Not a single one made me jump, or I didn't notice anyone in the theater go like, or it was just a lot of really annoying, loud, predictable jump scares that were just annoying. The zombies and the zombie makeup is just, it's just okay. If you compare it to something like Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead or even The Walking Dead, which at this point, Walking Dead, you know, the budget's giant and everything, but the makeup is just not very good. Yeah, but I digress. The set pieces, oh, right off the bat, the truck driver, one of the first scenes in the movie, the truck driver, classic in RE2 Remake. He grabs the burger, it zooms in out, he takes a giant greasy bite of the burger. That was awesome. There's a lot of moments like that in this film that are really cool and really enjoyable, and I started to snicker to myself, I'm like, that's cool. That's cool that that's in there. Even though I think this is a bad movie, I try and find the good things in it. I don't think it is complete trash, but it wasn't the best. Anyways, it shows the diner, or, well, I mean, it doesn't serve the same purpose. It shows the police station, which is basically 1-to-1, or at least the outside and the lobby are like 1-to-1 with the remake, with RE2 Remake. And it's really cool to see. Like, it's awesome to see that on a big motion picture. Now, I will say, didn't blow me away or anything. And I appreciate this for having a lot of cool set pieces, even though it's hard to tell sometimes if it's a set piece or if it's CG. I appreciated the set pieces, but they didn't really blow me away because graphics are so good now that in RE2 Remake, like, the graphics almost look real at this point. So seeing it in the movie was just, it was cool, but like things like that don't make a movie for me because it's not as mind-blowing as it would have been like 10, 20 years ago. But yeah, the police station is cool. I think they handled that really well. The mansion's really cool too. The lobby, they nailed the lobby as always. But other than the lobby, I didn't really notice, there was a lot of rooms that were just completely changed, which, as I said earlier, it's so weird to like base this off of Resident Evil 1 and 2 and the advertising and a lot of the reviews and a lot of social media posts, they act like this is like a 1-to-1 RE1 and 2 combined. Everything is the exact same, but it's so different. The rest of the RPD is slightly different and there's not much more of it. And the rest of the mansion is slightly different, or slightly and almost non-existent. The laboratory as well. I may have been sleeping, but correct me if I'm wrong, the laboratory was like the size of an office. They walk in, or Wesker walks in on Birkin, and it's just this little office. And yeah, and in that scene, just going back to what I said about people saying it's a 1-to-1, Wesker goes in, shoots Birkin, then Jill shoots Wesker, then Sherry tries to shoot Wesker, but then Jill shoots Wesker. It's just, everything that happens in that scene is just completely irrelevant to the games. I don't think the casting is a major problem in this movie. A lot of speculation for the film when the first few screenshots were shown, the first few trailers were shown, people were super worried about the casting because Leon and Jill weren't the right ethnicity and so-and-so didn't look like so-and-so, whatever else. I actually don't think the casting is a super big problem in this movie. I think it was decently acted, but the problem is, and this is like Anakin in Star Wars Episode 2, where people rag on him for like, oh, I don't like sand, it's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. You can't blame the actors when the writing is awful. Find me an actor that could say that Anakin line and do it well. Sometimes writing is to blame. It doesn't matter what kind of actor you get behind a script. If the script is written terribly, it's gonna sound like shit no matter what. Anyways, I thought Claire and Jill were just very similar characters. They were both just the badass chick. And Claire's sweet side of like caring for Sherry or would-be Lisa as well in this movie is sort of just dumped. Claire doesn't really show, she shows a little sympathy for Lisa and they have their moments, but overall, Claire and Sherry, that's out the window. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think they speak once. I don't even think they share a single sentence together. Maybe one. And Jill's just the badass chick. I think Jill is fine. They made her super badass, but yeah, they're very similar. Chris and Wesker are also very similar, to the point that if you switched around the actors for both roles, for Chris and Wesker, Claire and Jill, it would still feel the same. Like they all just feel very samey. I don't know. Every character in this movie just felt very flat and very generic, in my opinion. Also, Richard replaced Barry, and that there's also Brad in this movie, but he doesn't really do much. But yeah, Richard replaced Barry, which is so weird. As you guys know, Barry's our favorite character in the franchise, but I think Barry would have fit way better. Instead of this silent Richard, you could have had Barry as a father-like figure with the big weaponry. That would have been awesome. But for some reason, they didn't. And Leon. Leon is the one that stands out of all the characters. Leon and Ben, actually, in my opinion. Leon, they just made into like a bumbling idiot. He is just a buffoon in the movie. He's super silly. It's almost like a male version of that girl from Zombieland 2. It's not that bad, but that's the vibes I got. And I don't think it was like badly acted, but his script is just like, it's just stupid. Like literally. And a lot of the time he'll just be like, oh fuck, or or oh, you fucker, or fuck this. He says, he just swears a lot. And for example, the last, or one thing, speaking of like one-to-one, when he shoots, spoiler alert, as this has been, when he shoots the rocket launcher at Birkin, what does he say? He's like, take this, you fucker, or something. Why not just game over, just like the game, you know, or just like the original RE2. It's stuff like that. I always feel so weird watching this movies that are like, oh, it's all about the fan service. But when there's easy fan service, it's just passed up for something generic, I guess. But yeah, I think Leon is okay, but his script was a little rough, and he was also, he's just a bumbling idiot, which you can say he is like that in the games. He sort of is in the original and the remake, but not to the point that it's like comical. He's just sort of incompetent, and he's more than that in the movie. William Birkin, Sherry, and Annette. Annette is like just some girl. Sherry basically says nothing. She has a dream about hunters, which is cool. I think it was hunters. She said it was sharp teeth and green skin, which is cool. So I was expecting to see a hunter, but there was none. And then William Birkin, just sort of another dude. His transformation was all right. And when he transformed, though, when he was G1, he was screaming about Chris, and the theater that I was in, people were chuckling, and it was funny. It was just like, man, sometimes silence is golden, and I feel like silence would have been golden with Birkin. But he was just screaming about Chris and walking around. It was just a little silly. I do think the CG was okay on G1, but yeah, it was just a little disappointing. But yeah, overall, I thought this movie was okay. I don't know if I think in my opinion, the best Resident Evil movie is probably just the first one of Paul W.S. Anderson, but this gives that one a run for its money. But as earlier, we compared the shits in the toilet. Yeah. So I don't know. I would need to watch the original Resident Evil movie again. And I want to watch this again too. Like I said, this is a very impulsive review. I just wanted to come and get everything off my chest. But if you don't play the games, you most likely will not like the movie. If you love the games, you will at least like some things about the movie. It will be a semi-enjoyable experience for you, or it will be a very angry experience. One of the two. So, but anyways, I do recommend going to see it. There is a post-credit scene, or it's like mid-credits. That's pretty funny. I actually really liked the mid-credits scene. I won't spoil it just in case you go see it, but it's pretty good. And I hope it's not setting up for a sequel, because in my opinion, this was not, I think they should just abandon it. They should try again later on down the road. I know there's the show coming out, but I really hope they just abandon this movie. They try again. They frigged up, in my opinion. Just let this be its own thing and get a new cast and a new director and a new script for another Resident Evil movie way down the road, or whenever they want to do it. But I really hope this does not continue the trend that Paul W.S. Anderson did a long time ago with the other Resident Evil movies. But yeah, go see it. It's a video game movie. You usually go and see video game movies just for the entertainment value, and just if you're a fan of the franchise, just to see little Easter eggs, which this movie has plenty. There's plenty of Easter eggs to see. There are plenty of fan service moments. So there's plenty of things that have a little chuckle at and enjoy. But overall, the movie is not great, and it's whatever. I hope you guys enjoy it more than I did. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. If you like this video, please like it. And if you really like the channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And yeah, if there's a lot of likes in this video, I will try and review more stuff that I play. Because sometimes I'll play through a game and I won't even review it. I won't even put up a Let's Play just because the Let's Play is a little rough and it's done over the course of a lot of streams. So sometimes I just scrap it in general. But if you enjoyed the review, please let me know and I will try and do more. And yeah, I will see you guys in the comments. Please ask me any questions or leave what you thought of the movie, and I will try to respond to you. I will probably talk about this more on my stream, which I'll leave the link down below. But I just want to do a rough ramble video, let you guys know my initial thoughts on the movie. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.